Fear. Fear in the pit of your stomach. No surgeon can save you. No bromo can soothe you. Do you dare enter the screamatorium of Dr. Frightmarestein? Only 2 tickets left.
2 tickets? Whoa, what a break.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hello.
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 We just sat on a plane for 3 hours to come to Florida, God's waiting room.
I'm drinking rum.
It's Rum and Nerdy.
I'm drinking rum.
The time has come.
I'm drinking rum.
So grab a glass, some ice, your bottle, 'cause we're about to drink some rum.
From the IAAPA show floor,
We give you This Week in Florida.
I'm drinking rum.
Here's Greg and Garrick.
Hey everybody, welcome to Rum and Nerdy. I'm Greg.
And I'm Garrick.
And this is episode 5.4, 5.3, day 3 IAAPA Live. Today we are back at TEA Central, but we're with Michael and Jeff from, well, you're from AWS, you're from Worldbuildr. And I know AWS is one of the sponsors of the Central, right?
Yep, we're a sponsor of Central this year, and it's been great to be here in the booth with the TEA staff and everything here.
Yeah, so you get this is really kind of prime real estate, because I was describing to somebody this morning I was having coffee with, and how we, all these booths are here, but you kind of have this end cap right as you come in. You get to, it almost feels like a sports desk where you were reviewing the play-by-play with all the meetings around you.
Oh yeah, we're news anchors, and there's lots of commotion and hustle and bustle behind us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always got to take it a step further, and I think I told Melissa, I was like, hey, I'm going to get some TVs and put on some cool content, and she just let me go with it, and Chloe was like, yeah, let's do it, so it worked.
That could be a really good thing for next year. We put some game systems out and, have a next-gen area where they can play, Call of Duty and stuff. Maybe not. That's probably a terrible idea.
This brainstorming session.
The Call of Duty booth. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Well, suddenly it's Comic-Con.
So explain the setup that you have here with AWS and Worldbuildr.
Yeah, totally. You want me to start, and then I'll let you in. So,
yeah, great.
As we, at AWS, I work in the media, entertainment, games, and sports side of it, and we have great media and entertainment companies that we work with, and we do a really good job helping them with their streaming solutions and broadcasting and content production. And as we looked at it, we're like, how do we do a better job helping them across their entire business? And obviously, a lot of them operate some pretty large parks, themed attractions, etc. And we started to look at the solutions and how they span across. So we really started to go deeper to figure out what that looks like. And so the booth here today is showcasing some of our technology, really how to bring those assets to life. So, as you think about the IP they have, what they want to do, what that guest interaction looks like, how do you start to store those, use them across their productions in any way, all the way through, building the park, and this is where Worldbuildr comes in. Those assets are stored within in an AWS VPC instance, which means it's on your own private cloud. They're not outside your control. And then you can basically start to simulate them, and that's where Worldbuildr is one of our partners here in the booth, showcasing what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm being distracted by all of the amazing flow charts on the screen behind you. Those are great flowcharts over there.
Garrick likes flowcharts almost as much as Venn diagrams.
You're describing the systems, and I'm like, yes, there it is. I can see it. No, don't turn it off. I wasn't joking.
All the Lego blocks that are always there, and it's
so cool.
No, it's a great comment, because I think our customers are, I'm going to probably misquote the number of services, but it's on the order of 438 individual services that we have, but they're complicated to use together.
Yeah.
And so, those system diagrams are that complex diagram of how we use them, but we're trying to make it simple for our customers by packaging them in solutions. So that one's a Gaussian splat open creation platform, which basically allows you to create these 3D objects that Worldbuildr inherently uses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, Worldbuildr, I don't think we've talked to you specifically about Worldbuildr on the show, but
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I want you to give everybody sort of a brief overview of Worldbuildr, and then how exactly you're interfacing with AWS now.
Yeah, so Worldbuildr basically came out of this idea that there have been a lot of advancements made in simulation and predictive modeling and visualization, but it takes a lot of specialists to do that and create it. And so we wanted to build a simple tool, really more of an app that could be used by the non-technical creative designers in our industry who, have that spatial storytelling know-how in their brain, and they can understand, they can see it in their head what the whole attraction or exhibit is going to look like, but it's hard to get the idea out of their head, right? Mm-hmm. So we wanted to build a tool where designers could easily import assets into a scene, like a Revit model or a SketchUp model or basic architectural models, and make them not static models. Mm-hmm. So we bring them to life with show control sequencing and pedestrian modeling and,
Well, and also being able to view that as a participant instead of just a ground plan or a model. Like,
right.
Yeah, you can, the sightline studies and when you're talking about media, scenery, and the limits of the scenery, and everybody's always trying to value engineer and just cut that stuff down to is only what you need, and this is a tool to really see what's in frame.
Yeah, and what do you need and what do you not need, and you can see these things much earlier on in the process. So,
well, I was going to say, I'm glad you mentioned the ease of use, because I was actually talking to some of our creative friends earlier, and the one thing they mentioned, comparing Worldbuildr to other similar offerings, like it's so user friendly, it's so intuitive and easy to get through it. It really sets it apart from other things in the marketplace.
Yeah, we come from a game design background, and even though we want it to be a professional tool, we've specifically designed the UI to really feel more like a video game, like a Roblox or a Minecraft or Fortnite or something like that. So you can really quickly put a scene together and see how all the different systems interact with each other and play out. And in terms of our partnership with AWS, we've learned very quickly that some of our clients, some of our users, they need that extra level of security and that extra level of privacy, because some of these Revit models are, have to do with major attractions for major IPs, and those things just can't get out. And so a normal cloud is just not secure enough. Mm-hmm. Particularly like some of the legacy studios are just like really, frankly, paranoid about that sort of thing.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah. I work in that Revit community, and it's a whole thing.
Any of us that used to have to go in and watermark all those packages for RFPs and do all, we get why you do that. And I've been on projects where photos leaked, and working for one of the major parks and having to go into that meeting and pass a red face test, and it's scary.
I've been on the other side of the fence where we've had our drawings hit blogs, and the only thing that saved us is that there was a received stamp in the corner of the sheet. It's like, no, it had left our office. It wasn't in our hands. That's not us.
Wow.
Yeah, security, I mean, it's been prevalent across the industry, and media entertainment, and film, TV productions, no different. So this is where that security that we have that comes inherent through our services is one of those things that our customers love. And we see that convergence, I think, is with the games that we talked about as well, and the usability. That's always super interesting to us, because we're seeing convergence across industries. So gaming, media, themed entertainment, obviously they're starting to come together as technology improves, generative AI comes out and enables you to do things that make an experience that you haven't been able to do in the past.
Interesting. Now, looking at, and again, I love a good flow chart. Looking at some of your charts back here, each one of these different areas, this is a module that's offered inside of AWS. Lambda, ECR, DynamicDB, some of these things. Do you have a high level overview of some of the things that each one of these is offering?
Yeah, so in this case, you called out kind of those Lego blocks and the key elements. So, obviously Lambda is a really quick way and easy to have compute on only when you need it. So instead of buying a whole server instance, that mere instance of where I'm doing the processing and on the compute side is I can use Lambda, or when I, need great storage, S3 is a good option for that long-term storage across levels and price models of how frequently you need to use it. Mm-hmm. But as an engineer, yes, I know how to build those, but when I'm a business, what I really want is a solution. So this is an open source Gaussian splat pipeline. So it's really, how do I take a series of images how do I take those images and move them into a three-dimensional object? So I can take, in this case, I have my fun hedgehog on the bench. Come and see him if you're nearby. He's like my favorite character.
Hedgehog on a bench is also a really great bar.
It's the name of my college band.
That's awesome. If you need a mascot, I have one. It sits on the bench. So we have here where we had a turntable. We took a bunch of images and used generative AI to basically interpolate between those frames and create that three-dimensional object. You could also have, in this case, we have an example of creating a little lamp where I sketched it, used generative AI to make it a little more realistic, and then built that all the way into a 3D model. And what we've done is we released these open source guidances. So you can go to the sample code, you can have a CDK that you can download, and that enables you not to worry about those root elements we talked about earlier, the S3 storage, the Lambda, but it basically deploy it all together and just use the solution end to end right out of the box.
That's outstanding. Now, specifically in the hedgehog example, how many images did you take to do that?
Yeah, and that one we took 20 images. So
only 20?
Only 20 images, and you get that full three-dimensional model, which is pretty incredible. It's just that piece of generative AI and being able to interpolate between the frames and create that realistic image straight out of just 20 static images.
That's crazy.
So I think there's kind of like a revolution happening in terms of both asset creation and asset management. Those two things, growing up in this industry, it was always like, oh yeah, can you send me the latest version of that file? Oh, that doesn't work with this software, and oh, we can't import that into this. And
Revit, what?
Exactly, right? So, now with
No names.
some of these tools, you can really frictionlessly get a real-world object into a scan that can be interoperable in the digital space. And that's the stuff that gets me really excited, is when you get the physical and the digital, transition working really seamlessly. So you can, if you have an idea for an attraction or a special effect or an exhibit or something like that, you can just start mocking it up really quickly with found objects that you can put into a digital space.
That's outstanding. And even the scanning bit, we're talking about, a lot of times we'll have creative teams do real clay carvings and then have to scan them and then import those scans into Revit, and being able to do something like what was done with the generative AI and the hedgehog example, you could really optimize some of that pretty quickly.
Right.
And I mean, even just saying from the cleanup process, hey, you don't have to go in and clean up all the low fidelity issues with the scan process itself. It kind of lends itself to.
I think it's a great example of generative AI being a tool, right? Mm-hmm. And you're using that creative input because that's what you need as from the artist or from the creative, and just making it faster and easier for them to create their vision without all the nuance of the cleanup and the things that become, not tiresome, but literally are the low value. It's not that creative piece that's really important.
Because you get through so much of it with an actual artist's sculpt, and then the different revisions that you have to go through digitally just to make the lines smooth and make sure the dimensions are accurate. Being able to skip that chunk of the process and move right into the rest of the design integration. That's
the fun stuff.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are tremendous advances being made, again, with asset creation as well. We work in, our platform, it was made with Unity. Mm-hmm. So just these real-time engines, Unity and Unreal and that sort of thing, they've changed the way a lot of companies in our industry strategically create their assets. Because, interestingly, I think, architects, when they're building Revit models, they're not thinking about polygon count, No. They're thinking about, is this buildable or not in the real world?
I mean, they are when you import the scenery and suddenly the polygon count goes crazy and you're like, why does it take me a day to print?
Right. But this idea of optimizing it for a game engine is something that's very, very new and foreign. It makes sense for a lot of 3D artists who work in video games. Yeah. But in our industry, where the tools being used are it's not so much Blender or video game asset creation tools where you're thinking about creating something low poly for a mobile phone. It's just like a completely different skill set. But now those assets, through some of these advancements, can just come in and be auto-optimized, and a lot of that friction has now been removed.
What and real quick, just because a lot of people probably don't know Worldbuildr inside, and I've sat through several demos, so like I know all of the amazing things that you can, the data that you can pull out of those models. What's sort of a your top 10 list of really great things that you can do with that product? Because I think now we've talked about a very high level, but you can pull some very specific things out of that.
Well, so the thing that we found is the most valuable information is a lot of pedestrian modeling, specifically as it relates to ROI. So optimizing things early in the design process, you can bring a model in and then start getting some foot traffic logic, placed around, and points of sale. You can, spawn waves of guests through your exhibit that have different personality profiles. They have different, amounts of discretionary income in their pocket. They have different interests in what types of exhibits they want to see within your attraction. So.
Yeah, I know the scenario that always comes up in the theme park world is shows letting out.
Yeah.
Hey, a theater has just dumped, how many thousands of people, into the pathway in the middle of your theme park. What do? How many go left? How many go right? How do you control that crowd pulsing?
And there's so many aspects to it. There's the, is the pathway wide enough for that crowd dump of people? That's kind of the first one. But then there's also okay, the billboards on that exit route, that's advertising space. What kind of, eyeline visibility? How many eyeballs are seeing that billboard? And so then therefore, how much do we need to charge for that ad space? All of these things can now be simulated. And it's that additional layer of data, really, that separates a digital twin from just like a standard 3D model.
No, absolutely.
So one of the other things that excites me quite a bit is metadata, and using AI to tag these models with metadata automatically. So you can have systems that can say okay, here's the Revit model. Well, that looks like a window, so we're going to tag it as a window. And that looks like a projector, so we're going to tag it as a projector. And instead of manually having to input that, each and every time, now we have processes where, you can actually identify these different pieces of the model, tag them so that when it comes into Worldbuildr, Worldbuildr is smart enough to kind of pick up on those tags and then add the functionality based on the type of object that it is.
And you're doing that tagging in Revit?
It's all done in Revit, yeah. It's all being done in Revit. So, you would tag a show door as a show door in Revit, and then it comes into Worldbuildr, and that door can now open and close.
The look on Garrick's face right now.
We'll talk.
So not sequitur. I like that really complex flowchart slide keeps popping up. Which one of the two of you built that?
That was me.
Okay, I need a favor.
Yeah.
I need you to do one of those that is the recipe for a really good Hemingway daiquiri that I can bring with me to bars, because they always screw it up.
So now I know who Rum is.
Yes, Greg is most definitely the Rum.
Okay, but at the same time, we nerd differently, drastically differently. So but most of this, I'm like, okay, there's a word I recognize. Oh, they use the word "the." I knew "the."
And splat, you knew splat.
Kind of, but
maybe in a different form.
Yeah, but having grown up watching Nickelodeon, it meant something different to me.
Sure.
I thought that was slime.
Well, they went splat.
That's true. No, and I think this is where, this is where we like to use our industry expertise to help our customers, because it is complex. Not everyone, we have a lot of great customers, and I was just meeting with one who's experienced strategy and design. And it's how do you translate what you want to build into something physically that you can build? And that's kind of where our role sits, and my role specifically within the group is how do we make that real for our customers? And that's, we try to do that through demos, and sometimes it's complex pieces, but the other one is come in and see our proto hologram display that's right in the entry that is really engaging, and it's probably in the background of our podcast right now is our little purple character, Zira, that we made, is telling you about TAA and IAAPA at the same time.
And we got to demo the proto product. Was it last year? 2 years ago? at the TEA Summit and Gala, or
Inspire,
the Inspire conference. They rebranded, and my brain still hasn't picked it up. So
It was this year.
was it this year?
Yeah.
What?
It was this year.
Time moves really fast.
Yeah. I spent a month at IAAPA one day. Anyway.
Yes.
But so I think there's interesting thing about this industry. On the show floor, you see the most high-tech, top-of-the-line ride systems, incredible, breathtaking technology. You also see the carnies and the popcorn and the plush toys, and there's this entire spectrum of sophistication within the industry, right? And I think the way that these attractions are being designed and developed, historically, there's been a lot of waste and a lot of sort of assumption that there will be mistakes, and like, oh, well, we built that wall in the wrong place. I guess we got to tear it down and build it again. That has been the norm. People don't bat their eyes at that, but things are changing now. Where I think with a lot of these digital tools, now you can visualize things and make much cheaper mistakes much earlier on in the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I love seeing too, like these assets being used. I mentioned the convergence across, and you mentioned how close it is to gaming. When you talk about the optimization and cost efficiency and waste, I've seen assets being created of the same thing for different purposes. One for a game, one for a movie, one for a theme park, but they're being created all in the same tool, Unity or Unreal, and they're being done multiple times. Even in the same production, we've seen, the same studio not know they had it and recreate it. So being able to have a good asset management system like, that Worldbuildr's built on top of, where you can start to reuse those assets in different ways, and the art and the direction of that artist who built them is preserved across all those elements.
That's outstanding. One thing that I definitely wanted to touch on, because, Michael, you, Worldbuildr, you've been involved with the TEA since I have, maybe.
I think 2012,
as
2013.
As long as I can remember. AWS, you're relatively new to the Themed Entertainment Association.
We are a rookie.
Yeah. What, how did you get in? What brought you in? What's the shining light that kind of guided you to our doorstep?
Yeah, so this is really, I think, our second year of working with the TEA. So I would say last year was our true rookie year, and we were exploring and understanding what it was, and just learning the community. So I think I've always been impressed with how tight the community is and how many people know each other, and it's fun to be able to come back and see folks like, I was on a panel and Greg was our moderator, and I think he probably told me 20 times, Jeff, where are your slides, which is great. Making sure that we are getting everything together. So first step was just really learning and being part of that community and being helping people understand what we do and why it's important. And this year, we're taking a little bit bigger step. And the TEA is one of those great outlets that keeps people together. I think is like one of those core, like the core of the industry, and it's amazing to watch the folks that lead it, the folks that are affiliated with it, and who they know and how important it is, and we're learning a lot from them. So yeah, we feel privileged that they were gracious enough to let us come here, bring some fun toys this time, and be a part of it a little bit more.
We echo this a lot. TEA is one of those organizations that will give you all of the energy you put into it back twice. It's just one of those, like, you can do it passively and you're just going to see some benefits here and there. But when you really get involved, the people gravitate to you and you create a family, a camaraderie, a community. And it really is that, where you've got competitors becoming really genuine, close friends. And those kind of trusting friendships where you can still have the competition and the competitiveness, but really care about each other in the industry, lifts us all up.
Yeah, and I will still say I'm an outsider, and I see this. And I would love to be a part of that, where people are, you have those connections across, and you're like, hey, these are the people I've worked with over time, and they make those connections. And so, yeah, it's amazing to watch that and agree 100%.
But you're not an outsider. You're just new, and you have a bunch of friends you haven't met yet.
We're new, and I think we may be new and unrecognized. So we've always been a part of it, right? Where we have the, your customers and the people that you're working with are using us. You might just, it's not as apparent, right? So when you're streaming Disney Plus or you're streaming Netflix, you're using AWS, and or they know if there's a problem there. But that's where people are using us all the time, and it's helping them figure out how they can use us in new, unique, and novel ways that really fit their design objectives. And so that's why we like to be here.
Well, also, I mean, more attractions are becoming interactive, and they're not just hard sculpts, that you're kind of walking through passively. There's a lot of interaction, and because of that interaction, there needs to be a lot of cloud connectivity. You're making these attractions are getting very sophisticated, running on software that needs to make calls up to the cloud for AI, for generative stuff, for a variety of reasons. So this back end, the piece that the guests never see, is becoming more and more important.
I'm not saying that's my day job, but yes.
You said you'd committed to this 100%.
You say what?
You said you committed to this 100%.
I did.
Day job.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
How has the rum been? Just to change the subjects, how has the rum been so far on this trip?
Oh, most of the rum at all of the various functions are part of that selection that is known as cheapest package.
Sure.
So I've had mostly vodka.
Yeah, a lot of vodka.
Because it's like I'm picky about rum. Don't care about vodka. It's like, I don't throw some olive juice in that and shake it up with some ice, and I'm fine.
We're looking for that añejo somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I know you've got some meetings coming up as well, Mike. We were going to read out the Thea winners. Do we want to hit that real fast?
I was truthfully, I was hoping to have a really nice, like, just simple list, because the official press release has a lot of pictures in it.
But yeah, they were just announced last night, I think.
Yeah.
And some great winners.
Were you at
some amazing things? Yeah, definitely was there. And amazing the award winners for next year to Inspire. I'm excited to be there and be a part of it.
My favorite one, I just want to give a quick shout out. I was not involved in it at all, but it's the Make-A-Wish project.
I heard that was really
just
great.
Amazing. It's everything we hope to do when we create an attraction, and really make like meaningful memories and transformative experience. The phrase transformative experience is often a buzzword, but that's like really what this Make-A-Wish thing is. It's an interactive walkthrough that basically helps Make-A-Wish kids figure out what their wish is going to be.
Oh, that's
cool.
cool.
And it takes them through this decision-making process with a character that is, do you want to, meet somebody? Do you want to go somewhere? And it's all done in an interactive walkthrough.
And that's the, it looks like Wishworks from Make-A-Wish, Florida. That's really cool. I have some friends that they grant a lot of wishes on the race car side of the thing. Like, I always wanted, drive in a race car, and they'll take them around, but hey, here's a helmet and a fire suit. We're taking a race car around a racetrack kind of thing, and
right.
That's always a lot of fun to go through.
I'll get a couple out there. Here's the individual recognitions.
No.
So
hold off.
Oh, what's that?
Well, this is an updated list, and there's still some things to be confirmed. So.
Oh.
If you're just arbitrarily reading, be warned.
Okay. I can't read that. Here, it's really small. You read them.
Well, how about going through the projects first, or would you like to read the list of project winners?
Sure. Well,
we're gonna make our guests do all the work.
We have, our Thea Classic Award is X-Carre. We have the...
That's the one in Mexico.
We have the Pac-Man Live Experience. The Bureau of Nooks and Crannies. Neotropolis. Just Fix It Productions. Legoland Shanghai. Dance Macabre. Wishworks, Make-A-Wish Florida. That's the one I was mentioning. Minecraft Villager Rescue.
Which looked awesome.
Hobbiton Bagshot Row.
That's we visited that on the SATE APAC New Zealand trip.
New Zealand trip, yeah.
Yes.
It was a recent expansion where they actually built the interiors, and there's two of them, but they're mirrored. So for the first time, when you go to Hobbiton movie set tours, you could go into a hobbit hole and see the entire fully dressed out living experience.
And it's mind-blowing.
Wow.
When's the last time you went to a themed attraction with a working fireplace?
Yeah, you stumped me on that one.
Yeah, it was amazing.
We have the Secret Laboratory, the John Wick Experience, which I had a chance to check out at Area 15 in Vegas. Magnos Sound Transparent 3D LED won the Technical Innovation Award. The John Randall Center for Yoruba Culture. Bob Marley Hope Road for live show,
which was another one of the things that we did at the Vegas.
That's right.
It wasn't a True Explorers event, but it was sort of this expanded TEA Vegas weekend. And
the Story of Emily for museum, Haunted Mansion Parlor. That's that cool new bar on the Disney cruise ship.
Yep.
Cosm, an awesome, more than a movie theater venue.
Yeah, I thought that was cool and wanted to call out because it's we do a lot of great work with Cosm. So their end-to-end, we call it glass-to-glass production, runs across AWS. So
nice.
From the camera at the field all the way through, basically, that ultra-high resolution display. And it blends that sports. It blends, the themed venue that we're talking about, and of course, media and entertainment. So that was a cool one to see on there this year, I thought.
And then we have the, I don't know how this is pronounced, the Kochi Kame Museum.
Yes.
The now we're getting into my area of expertise here with the dark rides. We have the Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry at Epic Universe, Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, Universal Epic Universe for Theme Park, and Paul Kent is getting the Peter Chernak Service Award.
Which is freaking awesome.
Which is
amazing.
Great. I have one more. Good, dude. I have one more question for the two of you, Garrick and Greg. So I, one of the main ways that I know you is as co-chairs of SATE.
Yes.
And SATE is my favorite TEA event every year.
SATE North America, just to be specific.
SATE North America.
Yes.
Yes. Which is high in the running for best SATE globally. SATE is the one. Lots of these other events, frankly, there's a lot of patting each other on the back. Congratulations on the project. Mm-hmm. SATE really is about the thought leadership.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, SATE is an acronym. Storytelling plus architecture plus technology equals experience.
We actually like to say SATE isn't an acronym; it's a formula.
It's a formula, right?
It's a formula. Yeah, that's the
equation. You're right. It's an equation.
Yeah.
Acronym productions, you would know, right? The difference. So I wanted to ask, what's in store for SATE next year that you can tell us about?
I can tell you there was a last-minute kind of shift in a direction. Some really exciting host-sponsor opportunities. It's coming together very, very quickly, but I think we're not really jumping in too much for another couple weeks, just because we came off of SATE and went into IAAPA. But I know we want to announce soon, but it's going to be really cool. Like this year, between Disney and Knott's, we had a lot of those nighttime extra networking things and really cool exploratory opportunities. Next year's on par. They're different, but they're on par.
Which is good. And everybody that participated in those sort of extracurricular things, it's really hard to describe what that experience is if you've never done it. So a lot of times when you see all of the the ad extras when you're purchasing your ticket, yeah, it's an extra $100 for this or an extra $80 for that. A lot of times, those are some of the coolest things that are going to come out of that conference, and you don't want to miss that. You don't want to be the person the next morning thinking, "Oh man, I really should have gotten on that bus and bought a ticket to the thing."
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was really good.
Great. I can't wait. And I will pitch one more time. I know it's on your mind already, but Sate at Sea.
The conversation's been had. I don't know where it's at. That's
Okay.
above my pay grade.
Well, you have my vote.
Michael really wants to go on a cruise.
Peanut Gallery quotes today. Fantastic.
Good
You heard it
news
here
is-
first. Somebody in TEA has an opinion about something. That's new. So, we should absolutely wrap it up though. So I'll start real fast. Big thank you to Dave Martin.
DemonavePro.com.
You can check us out on our website, rumandnerdy.com. That's rumandnerdy.com.
Socials, we are at Rum and Nerdy, most platforms, also A&D.
And you can email us if you want to complain at just kidding, show at rumandnerdy.com. And then for you guys,
Well, first, I just want to say thank you to our partners at AWS for hosting us and allowing us to show our software at the TEA Lounge. If you would like to learn more, just go to worldbuildr.com. That is Worldbuildr without the E at the end.
That gets me every time.
The misspellings I've received, I could fill a book. But yeah, worldbuild, the letter R.com.
and where could we find AWS? I've never heard of it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, people mistake the letters probably never as it's an acronym. However, I just want to say thanks as well for having me on the show, welcoming us into the TEA. And just being a part of your community. And of course, you can find us through the TEA is a great way. Just that's that connection we like to maintain through myself. It's Jeff Zabe at Amazon.com. And look forward to meeting all you. We love hosting our partners and people that are using AWS and showcasing them, because at the end of the day, they're the ones making cool products and experiences and things out of a system graph that you may see on the screen that may be cool to some but boring to others. So that how you bring it to life is amazing. So we love to have those people showcasing it. So thanks for showcasing for us today, Michael, and then thanks to our partners Proto as well.
No, absolutely, and thank you from the TEA for your support and sponsorship, because honestly, the things that you've been helping the organization with have just really been outstanding.
That means a lot coming from you. So thank you. Appreciate it.
So with that said, we always wrap up in a very specific way. You may know how we wrap every episode, but usually we let our guests say it. So
Stay nerdy, my friend.
Have you as a friend. Now I can do fun things like get on your shoulders and wear a trench coat and be tall enough to ride roller coasters. Hello, fellow adult. I am clearly above the minimum height requirement and shall now ride your roller coaster for which you are an attendant.
Yes, and I will operate this roller coaster as I'm an adult who is licensed to do so.